Hello everyone and welcome back to Scandinavian Design 101. I'm Sanna.
I'm Andreas and we're two Swedes and we love design.
In this video we want to show you some vintage IKEA furniture that looks a lot like furniture by other designers made somewhat earlier.
Yeah.
We will tell you when the different models were included in the IKEA catalog and how much they cost. The prices might sound very cheap, but you must compare them with the buying power of the money and the average salary at the time.
Yes. And now we're gonna talk about the different models and I will start. And in 1952, IKEA introduced the Easyshare and sofa Åke. That's a Swedish man's name. And the last year it appeared in the catalog was 1955. The listing price was 98 Swedish kronor. We will say kronor for the chair and 210 kronor for the sofa. And that's about 12 and 25 US dollars. We can say dollars.
Dollars.
Yeah. It's hard not to see the resemblance with a Danish Clam chair designed by Arnold Madsen in 1944. But Åke is definitely not the pure copy. It differs quite a bit from the original, and the biggest difference is the square-shaped frame underneath the chair and the wing-shaped backrest. And at the time, IKEA wasn't producing furniture, they were just a retailer. And it's unknown who designed or manufactured the Åke chair. I actually did contact IKEA about this a couple of years ago. And they refused. This was when Yngve Ekström was still alive. And they said, you have to contact Yngve himself. He's the only one who's allowed to reveal who the manufacturers
that
were.
Wasn't easy, was
and
it?
I didn't contact Yngve Ekström. So I guess it's unknown manufacturer. But it's interesting to note that a lot of Åke chairs are being sold on auction as Clam chairs, but they are IKEA chairs.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Next one is the bestseller that was introduced in 1953, and that was the wall shelf Piccolo.
Yeah.
And that means like nothing.
No, it's a Piccolo.
That's just an
Is that like the Piccolo? Is that someone working in a hotel or something? I think
the one who brings the bag.
Yeah, I think and like working in the
I don't really know.
elevator. Yeah,
it was called Piccolo.
Yeah.
A knockdown modular system possible to combine as desired. So that's nice. It was highly inspired by the BFB shelf or string shelf as it's often called, designed by Nils Kajsa Strinning in 1949. The Strinning couple designed the shelf for a competition arranged by the Swedish book publisher Bonet, but it turned out to be difficult to get a patent on its simplistic construction. After more than 10 years of legal battles, the Strinnings managed to get their patent application granted by the Swedish High Court in December of 1962, and IKEA was finally forced to stop producing this shelf. But they started in 1953, so that's a long time.
There's a lot of shelves, and it's not just IKEA who made these copies. I mean, if you search the internet for a string shelf, you get one original and then 9 fakes. So you have to be aware. But even the fakes, when they are old, are quite nice.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. And then the next piece of furniture is the small armchair Winnie. And it was introduced by IKEA in 1955 with a retail price of 81 kronor, approximately $10. And it didn't disappear from the catalogs until 1966. And it was a popular chair sold in great numbers. I mean, it was included for 11 years.
11 years, that's a long time.
And no designer was ever mentioned, but it was indeed inspired by Danish chairs developed during the early 1950s by the Danish architect Ib Kofod-Larsen for the company Christensen and Larsen. But the IKEA chair was of much lower quality, of course. The plywood shell had to be upholstered because of the low quality molding, and the wooden frame wasn't at all as elaborated as the Danish chairs. But nevertheless, it's often wrongfully attributed to Ib Kofod-Larsen when sold at auctions around the world. And if you search for shell chair Ib Kofod-Larsen on Google, you will find like hundreds of IKEA chairs there. So that's very important to understand. It's nothing wrong with Winnie, that chair, but you shouldn't buy it and pay money like if it was a Ib Kofod-Larsen cabinet maker chair.
That's the problem with all of these.
Yeah.
It's not that IKEA made them.
No. But the problem is that
you can't tell which one is. Some people can't tell which one is which.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can't pay too much for something that IKEA...
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a difference between something made for IKEA and something made in small numbers for a cabinet maker in Denmark. Yeah.
Next one is the table Lövet, Swedish for the leaf. It was introduced in 1956, and even though IKEA already sold several organically shaped three-legged coffee tables, Lövet stood out from the rest with a beautiful tabletop shaped like a birch leaf. It's very nice.
Yeah, I really like this one.
The price was 45 kronor, about $5.50. The affordable price combined with low shipping costs due to the dismountable legs soon made the table a bestseller. It's sometimes claimed that Gillis Lundgren designed the table, but the actual designer is unknown. The idea of making leaf-shaped tables wasn't anything new. Several other furniture companies produced similar tables. A given example is the table Rytm, designed in 1954 by Yngve Ekström for the company Westbergs Möbler. Yeah. Compared with Lövet, the table by Ekström was of higher quality, with the legs connected with crossbars and with much more elaborated tabletop.
Yeah, but Lövet is a classic.
It is.
And it's a nice table. And they made a reissue of Lövet in recent years. I'm not sure. I don't think you can buy it any longer, but just a couple of years ago it was available again.
We never go to IKEA.
No.
We don't know what they have.
No, but I saw something about that. Okay. Yeah. And the next one. In the mid-century, scissor-shaped easy chairs were designed not least in Denmark, and Hans J Wegner exhibited his folding chair JH512, JH512 at the 1949 Copenhagen Cabinet Makers Guild exhibition. And it was a wooden version of the Barcelona chair designed by Lily Reich and Ludwig Mies van der Rohe in 1929. And with a folding function, it could easily be stored hanging on a wall. And similar chairs followed. A good example is the chair FD171, designed by Peter Hvidt Orla Mølgaard-Nielsen. And that was a chair without armrests, possible to place side by side to form a sofa. So it was a kind of modular system. In 1956, IKEA introduced a similar version called Bumerang, or Boomerang, it's the same word in Swedish and English, yeah. And the price was relatively low, 148 kronor, and that's about $17. And in contrast to the Danish chairs, Bumerang wasn't a folding chair. It looked like one, but it wasn't. But like the chairs by Hvidt and Mølgaard-Nielsen, they were possible to place side by side as a sofa. And the last year Bumerang appeared in the catalogue of IKEA was 1960.
Not a long time.
No. But this wasn't at all a copy, I would say, but it was inspired by chairs popular on the market.
This is not a video about copies.
No, not really. It's more about where the inspiration came from. Yeah, but it's interesting to note that the chairs by Hvidt and Orla Mølgaard-Nielsen, they were marketed as chairs that could be used as sofas, and IKEA did exactly the same thing in the catalog. Yes. They placed them side by side in the catalog to show that you could use them as a sofa.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Next one is the spindle-back chair Sierra, and it was designed by Bengt Ruda and first seen in the catalog in 1959. With a price tag of 55 kronor, equal to just over $6, it was a cheap alternative to similar chairs on the market. And that's IKEA's thing. Yeah. The characteristic backrest with dowels continuing down beneath the seat was for sure inspired by the chair Solfjädern, designed by Sonna Rosén in 1948 for Nässjö Stolfabrik. In Denmark, a similar chair was designed by Helge Sibast. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
In 1954, most probably also inspired by the Swedish chair.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. And then we got a quite rare Easyshare now. But we will start with Hans J Wegner, who designed his legendary Papa Bear chair in 1951 for the Danish furniture company AP Stolen. And it soon became a beloved piece of design sought after by customers around the world. And manufacturers, of course, wanted to make their own version of this chair. And some went a bit too far, making illegal copies. The two Swedish companies J.O. Möbler and G. Åberg were sued by AP Stolen and fined a penalty. And we have done a video about this if you're more interested. IKEA never made any copies of the Papa Bear chair, but hired the Danish architect Arne Wahl Iversen to create a Papa Bear looking lounge suit. And the result was Winner, introduced in 1959. And it differed quite a bit from the chair by Wegner, of course, but it displayed similar features, like the open armrests and the wooden detail on the top.
Yeah.
And it was like a low-quality version of the Papa Bear, sold for 176 kronor, or just about $20. And I think this was like... the Papa Bear was almost 10 times as expensive already back in the days.
Probably.
So yeah. And Winner wasn't really a success, and it disappeared from the catalog after only 1 year. Mm-hmm. But I really like this, but I have never seen it.
No.
I've just seen these catalog pictures of it. But I would like to see some contemporary pictures of it, because it will be interesting to see how it looks in real life.
Maybe there is none.
Yeah, probably not.
Already in 1938, the three architects Antonio Bonet, Juan Kurchan and Jorge Ferrari Hardoy designed the legendary butterfly chair while working at Le Corbusier's studio, designing an apartment building in Buenos Aires. The innovative chair soon attracted the attention of the Museum of Modern Art in New York, who gave it international attention. It was first produced in the US by Artek Pascoe and somewhat later by Knoll. A lot of unauthorized replicas turned up on the market, and when Knoll failed to protect the copyright, they stopped producing it already in 1951. Without any copyright protection, the butterfly chair soon was copied by a lot of companies around the world, among them IKEA. The butterfly chair was introduced in the IKEA catalog between 1960 and 1966, sold for 26 kronor, approximately $3.
Yeah, it's probably a very cheap chair to produce. And one can guess that almost all butterfly chairs found in Sweden and around are from IKEA. Yeah.